We're rolling.
Hold on, he's rolling. 1 second.
Oh shit, I'm cramping. Holy crap. Oh, is that what we just took the time? All right.
Why is there a waterfall behind us? Well, guess what? We were in Hawaii. Why are we in Hawaii? To be continued. However, we are going to be talking about the Ranger wrap-up. We're going to be talking about Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. This episode's title is
Wings of Danger.
That is right.
Joe, we missed you so much.
Oh, thank you. I missed you too. But Steven from Hyperdrive Picks and Krishna from Ranger Lifetime, you guys held it down.
We appreciate you guys.
You guys did a great job. We are going to be talking about the show, giving you the latest Power Ranger news, and be reading your questions and comments along with playing a game or a list. You named it the what?
Our Morphin List.
Our Morphin List.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing that, and we're going to be having a lot of fun talking about something that we all love. But let's get to the news, DJ.
Yes, absolutely. So here's a cool nod that a lot of you may or may not know at this point. In the Lionsgate Power Ranger movie trailer, Becky G is wearing a shirt that says 1973.
That's right.
Now, it's just come to our attention that Tui Trang, who originated the role of Trini in the original Mighty Morphin, was born in 1973, and she did have an untimely passing, in 2001. So there's a nice little nod to Tui, rest in peace, with Becky G taking on the mantle of Trini in the Power Ranger movie, dude. How do you feel about that, man?
I think it's an awesome homage to the original actress that played Trini.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see more of these homages in the film. I just don't want them too much in your face. Now, this one's a respectable one, which I completely get. Honestly, I'm along the lines of I'm okay with disassociating this with the television series because it obviously has a different feel from right off the bat. I know that you guys did your review. I did a trailer reaction. But This is the first time we're actually talking about this.
Oh, man. We've geeked out off camera. We were able to geek out about it. But I feel what you're saying, though. You don't want it to be oversaturated with the Easter eggs. But I feel like this is a nice one.
No, it's great. It's great. Like, there's certain things I want from this movie, and there's certain callbacks that I think are going to happen anyway.
Sure. Stop asking for Tommy, by the way.
Yeah, I mean...
Not this one.
It's truth be told, you guys brought up a great point. I know the rumor of the gender bend Green Ranger is out there.
And why not?
And I'd love that idea. But,
Me too.
Here's one that I think that are smaller throwbacks. Like, I want to see Mr. Kaplan.
Sure.
Maybe Jason David Frank plays Mr. Kaplan.
Wow.
I'd like to see Mrs. Appleby. I'd also like to see Ernie from the Juice Bar.
Sure.
Well, the Juice Bar might not exist in this universe now that I think about the way Angel Grove set up.
That was such a big part of Mighty Morphin, too.
It was. So now it's like I don't know what they're going to be their hangout thing.
Well, detention, obviously.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of degenerates.
I was watching a lot of other reviews about this film.
Sure.
And a lot of people compare it to The Breakfast Club. But there was one person that compared it to The Goonies. And it was very interesting because I was like, oh, well, this could be like a crossbreed between the two, which could be super cool, though.
But to be honest with you, the Goonies and the Breakfast Club, that's not a bad thing.
Not at all.
That's not a bad thing. But speaking of Goonie-like news,
yes,
as far as Stranger Things.
Yeah. So Stranger Things, the actor that's playing the Red Ranger, and I said his name wrong. I said Darce. Obviously, it's not Darce. What's his name?
Dacre Montgomery.
Dacre Montgomery, the Red Ranger playing Jason, is going to be playing, ironically enough, his name's going to be Billy.
Yes.
In Stranger Things. And he is the cooler big brother of a new character coming onto the show.
Oh, wow. Cool. Cool.
But I think that's kind of funny. But it's great to know that already that the actors in this film that hasn't even come out yet are getting more work. And I think this is starting to finally, after 22, 23 years
20
later.
20 plus years, man.
We're breaking the stigma of the Power Ranger actor trope of you're only typecast what you are. But Ika Darville kind of broke that. Also Rose MacGyver.
Sure.
Adelaide Kane.
Aaron Cahill.
Like we've started to see a lot of these actors.
They're getting exposure.
Yeah, progress in their career. So
it's
now,
awesome.
It's great. And I think it's great that young actors come in, play these roles, and have a career in acting long after Power Rangers is said and done.
Sure.
It's like our version of Doctor Who. You guys know what I'm talking about.
There you go. So the Ranger curse, as far as getting casted in the Ranger property, is being broken.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. On another foot, Dave, our hashtag member Dave, actually broke this first as far as
You mean rumor. Little Dave Baker?
Oh, yo, I don't call him Little Dave.
JJ Davrams?
He had mentioned a rumor of DC, Justice League,
yes,
and Boom Comics, Power Rangers, doing a crossover, and it has been confirmed.
Yes.
Scheduled to be released in January 2017. It's going to be a 6-issue miniseries. And if you guys seen the cover, and I'm sure we're going to show the image, it looks really exciting. It looks super exciting.
And each 6 issues will have a different Justice League member along with a different Power Ranger.
Sick.
So you have to assume that Superman's teamed up with the Red Ranger.
Red Ranger, sure.
I would say Batman and the Black Ranger.
Yep.
Cyborg and the Blue Ranger.
Makes sense. Wonder Woman
and Pink Ranger. And maybe the Green Lantern and the Yellow Ranger? Or maybe the Flash?
Maybe the Green Lantern with the Green Ranger.
Yeah, who knows? But I'm really excited for this. The one question mark that's lingering is which universe does this take place in? Does it take place in the Boom Studios universe, or does it take place in the DC Comics continuity. Rebirth, New 52, whatever iteration DC's on?
My money's on Boom.
Mine too, mainly because DC's try to do their best right now to clean up the New 52 with Rebirth. And I feel like that's going to be really tricky with bringing the Power Rangers into that.
Sure.
So I agree that it will be Boom Studios. I'm extremely excited. Now, this is one of those things where when you're a kid and you get all your toys, and you play like all these different fights.
Oh, sure, mashups, man.
Yeah, like this is
having He-Man fight Ninja Turtles or something.
Legitimate dream come true.
Yes.
Power Rangers and Justice League. That's right. I said Power Rangers and Justice League.
And their powers are so different.
Yeah.
Like this is literal gods with Rangers. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamics and see how they're complementing each other.
Extremely excited about this.
Speaking of Boom Comics.
Speaking of Boom Comics, we got a exclusive look. Oh, it's not an exclusive look. We got a look. We got to look at issue number 9 by Jamal Campbell.
Yes.
And the interesting thing that obviously sticks out about this, it's all Green Rangers.
I think they like green. I think they like green.
Well, in fairness, though, we did get a Blue Ranger heavy Boom Studios push.
Yes, but this is literally, they pulled a super mega force. Well, not really, but every single, the pterodactyl, like this is them in their uniforms, just color changed in green.
Do you not like that?
No, it's fine. It's just, it's definitely green saturated. You know what I mean? So on one hand, it's like, yes, Tommy and the Green Ranger sells. On the other hand, it's like, well, I'll put it this way. Boom Comics and the covers are always beautiful.
Let me ask you a question to put you on the spot for a second.
Put me on the spot.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, who is DJ Rivers' favorite Power Ranger?
Favorite Mighty Morphin, I'm going to say one and honorable mention. I'm going to say Jason.
Okay.
Because Jason to me was the quintessential leader before Tommy even ever showed up.
Okay.
He had a booming voice. He had that presence. He was cool enough to help Billy, the nerdy kid, but he was also teaching classes. You know what I mean? Like Jason, the character, was so well-rounded.
By the way, there's a great Boom Studios short in the annual.
I read that, by the way.
That shows Jason's like his daily routine as Power Ranger, which is an awesome, small, short little story. It's great.
Boom is so good, man. Yes. Honorable mention would be Adam. I mean, I love Zach. I mean,
we can't count Adam. I'm talking original.
Oh,
6.
original. Oh, you said Mighty Morphin.
I did. I meant season 1.
Fine. Well, Jason.
So Jason's your guy. Okay, fair enough.
Reversal. What is Joe's favorite Mighty Morphin character?
My favorite, I would say this. As a kid, it was Tommy. As an adult, it's Billy.
Really?
Yeah.
Why Billy?
Because Billy is literally the glue that holds that team together all the way to Turbo.
Sure. When we had done our Yellow episode where we were talking about the Yellow recast in Ninja Steel, we mentioned that our favorite, strongest female Ranger was Trini. And after that, man, I really started thinking about it. Like, Trini was dope.
Yeah, she was great.
Trini was dope in Mighty Morphin. She was very intelligent, obviously. She was a self-sufficient fighter. She hung around with the boys, but definitely hung around with Kimberly.
And she had grace and beauty. She was the total package. Yeah, exactly. Total package.
So, shout out to Tui trying for that rendition. You want to know how you know that Power Rangers made it, man?
You know...
no, I'm just saying, what's the one sign that you know that Power Rangers made it?
When they get their first, or when they get a feature film again.
Well, that's one.
When they're integrated with children programming.
Absolutely.
When they get up to Sesame Street.
You know Power Rangers have made it when Thomas the Train and friends are going to come out with Power Ranger themed trains, all in the decorations of the individual. ToQger. Oh, yeah.
What?
Confirmed?
No, I
Chip Lynn, make it happen. So we do have Thomas the Train. We're going to have the image up. And, dude, they literally have all the Rangers. I believe they have the villains as well. They have Finster, Zed, I believe. Like, they actually have every single design.
We and you talked about this right before we went on the air.
He was going to give me a lot of crap.
I thought DJ was going to literally start collecting these. And if you're out there and you want to collect these, more power to you.
Exactly.
Make sure you can afford it. but more power to you.
No judgment, sir.
No, I know you can afford it. Here's the deal, though.
Wow.
I literally looked at him and I was like, DJ, are you going to collect these? And he's like,
I looked him dead in his eye and said, what if I am? But I'm not.
and I was like,
I'm not.
no.
Yes.
We're cutting you off
Yes.
here. We're cutting you off here.
I give him credit. That's a good friend. He said, that's the limit. Go home, son. Like, oh.
No, but the truth is, we did talk about this, though. It does somewhat look like, it looked like fan art. Like, it looked like a fan custom.
It looked like a custom
commission
effort,
kind of a
sure.
deal.
So when I saw the picture, I was just like, this isn't real. And then they came up with an official, like,
Yeah.
press release. I'm like, OMG, this is happening with Power
Right,
Rangers.
and all right,
That's
so
not a bad thing. That means we're becoming
now,
a bigger property.
I have another question for you.
Go ask another question.
So if you were going to cross over Power Rangers with any other intellectual property, besides Justice League, because now that's happening.
Because that's official.
But like any other intellectual property, what would that be in your perfect world?
I'm not gonna lie. As you're asking the question, my immediate go-to was Ninja Turtles, but that happened too.
It did happen.
That has happened too.
We mentioned that in the newsfeed, actually.
There you go. So if I had to cross Power Rangers with anything else, let's go crazy with it. Let's go Marvel.
That's funny, because I would say
Let's
the
go
Avengers
Marvel.
too.
Because realistically, that's something that really doesn't. Yeah, that's something you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect it either. I think that is definitely something that, like,
How would that work?
Well, free comic book day, I saw the Attack on Titans Avengers crossover.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was really cool. But to see a Power
Attack on Titans
yeah,
Avengers,
it was
huh?
really cool.
Sure.
But you know what? That's my answer. Attack on Titans.
That makes so much sense. They're dealing with huge skyscraper-sized people. They could easily go Megazord versus giant Titans. And dude, that's actually interesting. We'd have to tone it down a lot in terms of the gore.
Do you know Attack on Titans theme song? Because I'm trying to place it. And imagine Power Rangers, Power Rangers. We just did a little mashup there.
Dude, I'm more excited than I ever had. Actually, yes, Attack on Titan and Power Rangers. I totally co-sign your answer. Absolutely.
That would be pretty cool.
So, today's episode.
Yes, let's get into it.
And here's a clip.
I've beaten you before, and I'll beat you again!
Not if I have this.
All right, so this is Wings of Danger. This is a Silver Ranger episode. This is a trust...
Rangers!
No longer. And shout out to Xenowing's voice actor, because we were talking about this off screen.
Yeah.
It's a very smart season because he adjusts for his character arc and development. He was a possessed Doomwing / Xenowing,
right.
And now that he's just Xenowing, it's a much more controlled, much more established character. This is a character who is his own person, who is essentially a badass.
Yeah, what we got here is smarter storytelling than you would normally see on a kid's show.
In Power Rangers, period.
Yeah, what I mean by that is that the voice actor that did Xenowing, he played up the cheesy and the campiness when he was first
Yeah.
introduced, because he was
Doomwing.
He was Doomwing.
Yeah.
And that was a ploy, almost like where Tyler and Shelby were like, well, I'm going to the park
Yes.
to fight whoever.
The stiff wooden acting.
Right, and that was the same
Mentality.
Yeah, that was definitely the same cadence we heard
Yes.
from that character. Now, the reason why I think it was so brilliant is because now we get to know Xenowing, and he is not like
Yeah.
that. He's very stoic.
We get so much backstory in this episode on a couple different levels.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is and we talk about this sometimes as far as we want more answers. We want to really delve in, because we've gotten a lot. We've gotten a lot from the core
But
Rangers.
Xenowing's kind of a dirtbag.
I like
listen,
him.
But here's my point.
I'm
Now,
a fan of Xenowing.
Well, here's my point to this, though, that the writers did their job in making a dude in their 30s hate Xenowing because he was a scumbag.
Sure.
He was a jerk.
But I feel like the reason why
I just
the way
said the
he
word
is,
scumbag,
Scum.
jerk, and dirtbag because we're keeping it PG for this.
Shout out to Scumlaw from the last Halloween episode, by the way. But no, I mean, I feel like the explanation and just knowing why he is the way he is, it's beautiful. Okay, so we established the fact that Xenowing is part of the core team now, kinda. He's on the force of good, but he likes to work alone.
Now, did you see any similarities with Xenowing right here and any other characters you've seen in the past?
Oh, absolutely. It would be
Eric.
Eric from time.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind, Eric.
But I think I like Xenowing just a little bit. Well, here's the thing. Eric had a whole season.
Right. So
Eric had a whole season. He had to do this all towards the tail end because we only have like about 4 or 5 episodes left.
That's crazy.
So we don't even have a lot of time.
Now that you just said that,
Yeah.
it really makes me. I'm not ready to say goodbye to Dino Charge.
I love this cast. I really love. I'm looking forward to Ninja Steel, but I really love this cast.
You know,
it's going to be bittersweet, man.
So Tyler pretty much tells them they need to train harder.
Because Zenowing decides to go off on his own.
Yeah.
Lets them know, basically, don't get in my way. So he's doing the Wolverine thing, like, I'm good. And Tyler does a pretty decent leadership quality, which is, let's be productive. And that's something I always appreciate, because to me, this is a throwback to Mighty Morphin. Anytime I see them train,
sure,
that's amazing to me, because they're honing their skills as Rangers. They're staying mentally sharp and physically aware and getting ready for the upcoming battle.
One thing this season's done really well is callbacks to past episodes.
Absolutely.
And we see that right off the bat when Coda gets pitched a rock.
During the training montage.
And he hits it and he goes, "Home Run Coda," which was an episode from this season.
Actually called Home Run
Coda. Yeah, so that was great. And I feel like this season's doing a lot of that, where it's almost like, hey, we know that parents, you're watching too. So have fun with it and
Absolutely.
see if you can keep up. Because you got to think, something that actually, this actually ties back to the Mighty Morphin, not Mighty Morphin, this ties back to the movie thing, is like, you said something very interesting.
What's that, man?
In the last week's episode when I watched it, it said, this isn't your dad's Power Rangers. Actually, truth is, DJ and I aren't fathers that we know of yet. And, true story. And the truth is, but we are the father's Power Rangers, you know what I mean? Like, we're the Generation 1.
Yeah.
We're V1. But we are those guys.
We are G1 for sure.
The movie's made for guys like us.
Yeah, I mean, again,
and people our age that have kids. TJ, I'm just joking.
No, Joe, for sure. I'm an uncle.
Maybe.
So, but no, I mean, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, I imagine, because I like Transformers, but I love Power Rangers.
Yeah, me too.
So I can't imagine what it was like to be an old school Transformer fan, seeing a trailer for that. And now us, you and I, just total fans of Power Rangers. Shout out to our producer JD as well. We're huge Ranger fans, and just seeing this trailer, God, it's just such a good time to be alive.
From what we got from that trailer and now from Dino Charge,
sure,
do you think that our fandom has really come full circle into mainstream acceptance, though?
I feel like there's a lot riding on this movie, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding, but we knew that. We knew that because this is an ambitious project, because, our Power Ranger, a movie before, and even Turbo, a Power Ranger movie, I mean, they weren't necessarily the big stellar hits of their time. They have a place in our hearts, but now this is a big budget, Lionsgate movie. Lionsgate, man.
Yeah, it's
Lionsgate.
huge.
They're looking for a new big hit for Lionsgate, and this could be it.
Well, yeah, I mean, because Divergent just recently got put on track to being a television series.
Yes.
So now they are legitimately banking on this to be the next big
They
thing.
want this to be I mean, of course, they're doing the whole, we anticipate a 6-movie thing happening, like a whole arc. And at this point, they're starting off here. This is our starting point. It can go anywhere at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely away from our TV show. And that's why we brought up the whole gender bend, Tommy, maybe Tammy.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, I mean, this is why also we kind of, I didn't mean to talk about the movie so much, but I was trying to bring it in the direction of, like, even this season of Dino Charge has been extremely strong in terms of things we've gotten from the past.
Sure. It's well crafted.
Listen, I'm willing to put this up there with Space, with Time Force, with RPM. Like, this is a very strong season.
It's so solid. So they have the training montage, and they complement each other so well. I mean, little scenes like that, I mean, it doesn't last that long, but you can just see how well the cast members get along and complement each other. Even now we get the official carrying on the story from the last episode. We're not counting Halloween special, filler episode. We even get to see, like, little things. They don't overdo it with the whole Shyler, Telby, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
And their relationship. And
Telby, I like that.
Telby, I know. That's shout out to Ryan Buetta from Rangers Live Chat. He introduced me to Telby.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he kind of did. I was like, I'm gonna stick with Shyler. But no, I mean, to you couples out there, this is the way you bicker and still get along, because they have a little.
They're in the honeymoon stage.
They
though.
really
Listen,
are.
Been in a relationship for a long time. You guys out there know what I'm talking about.
But guess what? Even with Tommy and Kimberly, like, yes, they shared a kiss. But you had it in your mind that they were in a relationship.
I got a question for you from last week, or from a couple weeks ago. I didn't actually get to ask you this.
Ask.
When Shelby and Tyler were very close, did you think, oh shit, this is actually gonna happen?
It was enough for me to go, dang it, Coda, no, because this would have been our first kiss since Mighty Morphin.
So, but you were like, oh wow, this is.
Oh, I was watching it with our producer JD,
okay, cool.
And it was like, Coda. Okay, well, they were that close.
He's like the little brother that's like, hey, what's going on?
Oh, he would have been thrashed by me. It was like, oh, dude, go to your room. But yes, I did anticipate but anyways, the relationship carries over very well. I think
Yeah,
it's very cute, and we haven't got a kiss from them yet, but you get the relationship.
Yeah.
You get the relationship.
Well, the great thing they've done with the season is literally build from the bottom up. They character build from the bottom up. Like they give you when we first introduced these characters, we're given just names. But
Sure.
I can tell you right now, if you just said a description of the character, I can tell you exactly who that is.
we know them. We definitely know them.
And,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, and listen, I love certain things they did in Megaforce and Super Megaforce.
Sure.
The only problem I had was the character
The
development.
development, sure.
And I
Much
think that's where
weaker.
it fell flat.
It definitely took a second seat to cramming.
It would take me a
in.
lot longer if you were to give me a quiz like, who's this, who's that? It would take me a lot longer and maybe a couple more guesses, more so than hitting it on the head with this season. It wasn't as defined. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So moving on.
yeah.
So basically, they're training. We get a good relationship, and they hear a sound, and it's Xenowing. Like Xenowing's training on his own. I mean, I thought he was going to go off and find Doomwing, but he took the time to train. And this dude is sick. We get another Ranger who's a master swordsman essentially.
Yes.
So he's carving up a rock, literally, a huge boulder, and
is
he's
so cool.
he's slashing it, and makes a great art piece out of it. Like it's like a hot knife through butter. And the Rangers are super impressed, and why shouldn't they be? They just witnessed this great skill from this unknown character at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was great.
And Xenowing, and this is what you're talking about, he is kind of a jerk. He is kind of, I'm not here for your amusement.
But it
what are
makes
you
sense
watching
why.
me for?
It does make sense why.
And let's talk about that real quick, because this episode really solidifies who Xenowing is. He was possessed and combined with Doomwing for at least a century. That's a long time. And
No.
Well, I think it's a long time.
I kid. A century is a long time, of
It
course.
is. And
I
then-
wouldn't want to be stuck. I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
For an hour.
Yeah. It sounds terrible.
And actually, this whole season, what's interesting is this has been a whole season of fusions and combining characters. We had Sir Ivan with Fury. We've
Yeah.
had Heckle and Snide, and now we have Doomwing with Xenowing. But this is
Oh.
the first we've seen the separation.
I
that's
did-
not true. Ivan got separated.
I did have a
obviously.
Sentai question for you on this episode.
Yeah, please, man.
So, the Gold Ranger, is it Yuri? No. Yuri?
In Kyoryuger?
Yeah.
It's Uchi.
Uchi. I feel like, if I remember correctly, he was brought in somewhat similar to what Xenowing is.
He was very similar to even Ivan.
Do you-
Because he was in Fury.
You think there was elements that they took from that specific storyline and infused it in here?
I don't know how far they try to connect everything, but it is interesting that it started off with Ivan.
Right.
And then now it's a theme. Like there is a theme of combine, and they even connect the power of why they're combining. You know what I mean? Like the Dark Energem.
I know, that was smart.
The Dark Energem being the power source for combining powers. You know
I
what
like
mean?
that a lot.
So I mean, we not necessarily for Fury and Sir Ivan, maybe, I don't know, I don't think so, but definitely for Doomwing and Xenowing. So essentially, Xenowing this is the backstory of Xenowing. Back in Sentai 6, this is long time ago. So, dude, oh man, just Xenowing's such a good character. So he tracks Xenowing, or I'm sorry, he tracks Arcanon all the way to Sentai 6. This is years ago. They have a showdown. They have a one-on-one. And it's really cool because, dude, you actually see him inflict damage on Arcanon.
I thought that was awesome.
So his armor piece or his shoulder blade does fly off, and the same thing happens in Kyoryuger in a much different way. So they have a fight. The Energem bonds with Xenowing at that point, and that's where he becomes the Silver Ranger. But he still loses that fight, and that's where he's captured. And Arcanon exposes him to the Dark Energem, which created
Wait a
Doomwing.
minute. Is the Silver Ranger in the Sentai
Tauren?
Tauren?
It is.
Oh,
It is.
I didn't know that.
They did use it, and I think that's amazing. So we get the backstory, and that's how Xenowing and Doomwing were born. And oh, dude, it's just such great
Would it
history.
have made more sense to have Keeper be the Silver Ranger, though? Like, we're using that?
I'm happy with what they've done.
No, I am too,
I'm
but-
happy with what they've done. It would have made
If
sense.
we're comparing, I guess.
Well, speaking of Keeper, we don't really have a gauge as far as.
It's because Keeper's a boss.
Not only is he a boss, he's a very
No.
enigmatic.
He's a boss.
A boss. Corrected. But we don't have a lot of story on Keeper. He's so enigmatic. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
like last time I saw him, he was parting the Red Seas. This time I see him, it's a dust a cloud and disappear.
And then Ninja Vanish.
That was amazing.
He pulled a Ninja Vanish. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So.
We are, sorry.
But anyway, so obviously Xenowing works alone. Dude, Arcanon is vicious. We get a clip to Arcanon, and we gotta love the fact that he's now only acting on it. He's about to destroy and punish Doomwing, which is basically just get rid of him.
Yes.
Like, no failures. Out of desperation, Doomwing convinces him to give him another chance. And his big plan is to do the same thing again and basically get him back and combine with him again with the Dark Energem. So, oh man. So that's the plan. They go after him. And Doomwing and Xenowing actually do face off.
Yes.
Doomwing and Xenowing do face off.
Do you think that was a little early? Did you expect it in this episode?
I think, actually, I'll speak for the whole episode when I say this. I like that they don't drag anything.
Yeah, me too.
I
This
like that they
episode
don't
was
drag anything.
like it moved so well. It was so fluid.
Yeah.
The way it moved, the pacing was great. Like,
Yeah.
they knew where they were going from the beginning to the end. And I don't know if you noticed this, but like a lot of this episode is like we talk about dualities, especially in this episode. This whole episode's a duality. If you actually look, it starts off the same place that it ends.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it parallels itself throughout the pacing of the episode.
Absolutely.
Which I think is really cool because we get the rise and fall of Doomwing and Xenowing, and then you also get the Heckle kind of story.
It progresses so much. So Xenowing's determined to do this by himself. The Rangers are determined not to let him do this by himself. Riley leads the morph charge this episode, which is amazing because there is a relationship with Xenowing and Doomwing. Matter of fact, when Xenowing was training, he does a sick move called the Prism Strike.
The Prism Strike.
And
Rangers, the Prism Strike.
what I think is cool, no more voices. He doesn't do that anymore.
He doesn't do that anymore.
But Riley, I like the fact that Riley at least acknowledges that the Green Ranger style is more swordsman. Because in Kyoryuger, the Green Ranger
they play
was
on that a lot.
absolutely a swordsman. Where Riley's a farmer, but he just happens to be interested in swords. So Riley's like really intrigued. He wants to learn that move. You know what I mean? So there's already a connection. So they fight, and still Doomwing is a force. Doomwing is a force,
As it should be.
Yeah, and then Arcanon is there as well, and he's telling him to just basically destroy, because Xenowing is overcome. He's telling Doomwing to destroy him, or at least make it happen. You know what I mean? And Riley thrusts himself to save Xenowing and gets injured in the process. And this was different, man.
Yeah.
He takes a huge blow, and you see the slash in his Ranger suit.
Something that we haven't seen,
We've never seen that on.
ever in Power Rangers, where I almost thought that I got to take a quick glance. I was like, is that they're actually showing blood in this?
They showed the injury for sure.
They did show the injury, and it carried over in his demorph state.
Yes,
Which is something that doesn't usually happen in Rangers also.
So you were talking about Keeper coming in to save the day. He whooshes them away, so he teleports everyone away. Matter of fact, the last episode we were talking about how much.
I'm gonna wish you away. He's super weird.
He loves
I don't
this
like
guy.
the voice.
Well, he's a weird character, but he's different.
Rangers, I'm gonna wish you away.
So they go back to the base, and Riley is hurt. That's really cool because they show him shirtless with the scar.
Well, there's two things
and they have
that-
to cover his injuries.
Two things that I think are
really cool.
significant here. Number one is that we don't usually see the Power Rangers lose ever.
And they retreated.
And they retreated. This is the villains getting the better of them.
Yes.
Number two, we don't ever see the ramifications of them actually being in battle. This is what we get in this episode. This
Sure.
is why, now that we're talking about this, like,
Yeah, man.
it is ranking higher for me because there's certain things that are carrying over that are like, hey, guess what? Now there's stakes and consequences.
This episode took it there. Took it there. And Xenowing just being the lone wolf that he is. I mean, he said something that kind of wasn't cool in front of the other Rangers, which is, and I get why. You understand
D-bag move,
why.
bro. D-bag move.
And he says it's Riley's fault for getting hurt. I told him to stay back. But as a person, and here's, we were talking about this too. He basically is the same thing as Heckle and Snide. You know what I mean? In terms of Heckle and Snide being fused together because of the Dark Energem.
Yeah.
Very similar. That's what Doomwing and Doomwing and Xenowing, that's what they experience. But the difference is, and I'm really getting ahead of myself, but the difference is Xenowing still has maintained his justice.
Yeah.
He still has been able to maintain his integrity as being twisted as long as he has.
You know what this reminds me of, actually, now that we're talking about this a little bit, is when Tommy got separated from herself when the Green Ranger fought the White Ranger.
Sure,
Because it was
the sorcerer.
it was the real evil Tommy that was kind of like manipulating.
Yeah.
So it reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's
to a much smaller scale,
Yeah.
because obviously we're talking about years
Sure.
of combination. You know what I mean? That's crazy. So
It just jogged my memory.
So Keeper has a moment with Xenowing, and that's really I like seeing those two interact because they have a backstory, but we don't have the story of the backstory. They've known each other all the way since the freaking dinosaur
See,
ages.
this is what I love.
All the way since
And
the dinosaur
And I'm
ages.
not going to lie, I'm not going to hate if it doesn't get answered. You know why? Boom Studios.
That's his answer for everything. Opportunity.
It's coming.
Oh, here's another cool thing, too. We failed to mention it. That Xenowing is the creator of the Zords.
Yes.
He is the creator of the Zords. And it does kind of establish one thing, because we were under the impression that the Guardians that Keeper come across, the actual dinosaurs, were the actual Zords themselves.
Well,
he says
here-
protect them.
Oh,
Protect
I guess,
these
yes.
these Energems. Now it's known that they weren't the permanent, immortal keepers of them. They weren't upgraded into Zords or anything. They were created based on what Keeper chose,
Yep.
but Xenowing just happened to pick dinosaurs as well, I guess.
Yep.
And they're not to be activated until their
Popular.
Energem bonds.
They're popular. Maybe you saw Jurassic World. But I think that what we're really seeing here...
Jurassic World.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm like super late. Like, oh, that was actually funny.
Maybe what we're seeing here is we're starting to see a lot of questions answered.
Yeah.
And I don't want to jump too far ahead of ourselves, but a big part of this is Heckle's character.
Outside of the name, he's a great villain.
I agree. Yeah, you're right. You hit that right on the head.
Yeah.
Outside of the name, he's a... I understand what they were doing with the name, though, Heckle and Hyde. I get it.
Oh, this is definitely my age speaking. It's just that if they're gonna go original, go original. You know what I mean?
Give us something new.
Give us everything new, because to me he is that big force. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
And
I
then
agree.
to me his name anchors him down and it becomes a gimmick. Which again, it's a kids show. It is smart. It doesn't ruin it for me, but this is me talking as a Ranger fan as an adult. So the Rangers retreat, and Doomwing's big plan is to release every villain that they've ever fought in the past. What's really cool is they send like waves of them. So they do a Finster, just Monsters Workshop, just popping them out, popping them out.
Does this remind you a little bit of Countdown to Destruction?
You know, it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't, not really. But it was really interesting because you do get the past. Okay, we kind of get two episodes back to back because the Halloween episode was
that's right.
was reference
Yeah,
to more monsters of the past, and now we're actually dealing with monsters again from the past.
But this one was handled with a lot more care.
Well, this is an episode that counts.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference. So
Do you... I need to ask you, why do they do those filler episodes like that? Especially on Halloween ones. Is
if
that
you-
now a trope?
if you notice, they didn't really start doing that. I mean, yes, we've had...
Until the Neo Saban stuff?
It is the Neo Saban stuff.
But is that now a trope that happens? Like, is this now a thing? We've had it for 6 years, I guess?
Obviously, without me being officially from Saban and
Yeah.
Nickelodeon, they've definitely crafted episodes specifically to go with this, at least for Halloween, specifically.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Specifically for Halloween.
I wasn't sure if it
It's
was
not
like...
like they do Christmas or anything, but
Well,
they're off season by
Yeah, I
now.
wasn't sure if it was like a kind of like a mid-season kind of like, okay, this is what you need to catch up on kind of a deal, or if it's like, hey, well, we got an extra episode, let's just do a Halloween one where we could do a clip show.
But
Like,
it's-
I wasn't sure which one it is.
But when you think about it, it serves as both, because that's
absolutely
that's
it does.
a big holiday for, I guess, for us in America.
Mm-hmm.
By the time Christmas comes along, they're no longer in season. Anything else in the springtime isn't really worth celebrating. I shouldn't say that, but not enough to be like...
yeah, DJ, let's not alienate everybody.
Well,
I'm
stop.
just
You know what I meant. So, but it is definitely something since Neo Saban took over. Same thing with Samurai. Same thing with Megaforce, Super Samurai. We've had Halloween episodes in the past, but very few.
I think the best one I've seen from the Neo Saban era so far has been last season's.
Dino Charge.
Yeah, Dino Charge.
Mainly because Miss Kendall was, or Miss Morgan was in a nice
She
little
stole my
outfit.
heart. I hope she's actually.
She was not
our next
bad.
guest on the show, by the way. But
She was not bad to look at that episode. And we had our awesome ghosts outfits.
yeah, I thought that was a smart move.
Sure, and it was fun. And they actually brought it back in another episode. So moving on. So they released waves and waves of past monsters. And let's go ahead and call Ice Age MVP for MVP monster of Dino Charge and Super Dino Charge. This guy has come back at least 4 times, whether twice for sure, once in the flashback, and again today.
Jeez, you can't kill this guy.
Ice Age is the man, not Doomwing.
I really hope. I wish Ice Age
Not
was the
Harkonnen.
next big villain next season. It's like, you know what? You can't kill me.
Not Fury. It's Ice Age. It's Power Rangers Ice Age as far as I'm concerned.
I think you may have just coined something. The Power Rangers Ice Age.
I'm dead serious. But what's really cool is we get to see how much stronger the Rangers are.
Yeah.
Because these were villains of the week, and they are chopping down waves of these villains. Now, they're kind of like the Vivixes of today's episode.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they killed it. They absolutely killed it. And simultaneously, Xenowing, with new motivation, Xenowing actually thanking Riley for his sacrifice now, because this is the first time that anyone's ever sacrificed themselves for him.
Well, and also Keeper does make that statement of saying, like, you lost that when you merged, or when
That's
you
beautiful.
when you
merged.
I guess,
Yeah.
with this other thing that was
Because
created.
he was separated and then
Right.
remerged.
And
Yeah.
you lost the was it gratitude was the word he used?
Yes, it was gratitude. Absolutely. And that was such a great moment. So newly inspired. And this is, again, he even said the line don't quote me on this, but I've risked myself for millions of lives or hundreds of lives. This is the first time someone's done that for me.
Yep.
And that's, again, he still maintains his justice, he just has to work alone Batman style.
Yeah.
So he goes after Doomwing to have another showdown, but this time, not just for himself, but for Riley. And he heals. This is really cool. They found a new way to incorporate his new move, the Prism Strike,
No, it's so
to heal Riley's injury and simultaneously passing on a new technique. That was kind of dope to me.
Yeah, he learned a new technique by getting healed, which I did. I actually enjoyed that too.
And it established a mental link too.
It almost seemed
was
like a
really
video
cool.
game a little bit. Like,
Sure. But to me, actually, you know what's funny? Like, to me, this is actually more Sentai than Rangers as far as
Oh,
the
is
whole...
that right?
Just like that whole...
Mythology?
Deeper connection. Because, everything in Japan is so emotionally based. This was more like, we're one now. I'm passing down this technique that's specific to me. I was not going to teach it to you before. Not only am I healing you and I'm coming across with this big development, now you have a gift. You take my skill. He even said that too. You take my skill, I'm going to take your heart, and I'm going to move forward. So Rangers are fighting a whole bunch of monsters. Xenowing's fighting Doomwing again, rematch. But again, he gets overpowered. He does get overpowered.
I honestly thought he was going to lose being the Silver Ranger for good in this episode.
It's Rangers, so we have to have the good guys win.
And then, one thing I loved about this episode, and I know some people might not like it, is there were no Zords. There's no mech battle.
But what's really cool about it is they didn't force it either. They could
No,
have.
it was a natural storytelling plot device, which I thoroughly enjoyed, because sometimes I feel like the trope of Power Rangers having the Zords in just to have the Zords in.
Sure.
And I love that the story pacing in this episode didn't need to dictate that.
They didn't sacrifice anything to make it happen.
Yeah,
and
you didn't miss anything either.
It ended on a high note. If anything, it made it that much stronger
Yeah.
because it wasn't a formula.
Yeah.
It wasn't a formula. And what's really cool is because Xenowing loses again, puts up a great fight. Like, there's so much original footage in this episode. Puts up a great fight, but still gets overcome. But Riley vividly sees it, and that's how he comes out of his injured state. And I thought that was awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, like you said, like this was one of your favorite Riley episodes.
This is the most I've liked Riley out of Dino Charge, out of Super Dino Charge. And not to say he was a different Riley, but he was just so developed and he was just likable.
Well, I think this is the episode that made Riley solidified into knowing who his character is.
And actually, I felt...
And for us, it came full circle right here.
No, absolutely. And I feel like this is the first... Because Riley is a part of the team. They get along very well. But this is the most connected I felt with him with another cast member, and which happened to be a big giant bird. You know what I mean? But him and Xenowing work really well together. So Riley rushes to battle. And we get to see his version of the Prism Strike called the Green Prism Strike, and it was sick.
And then bam! Green
Dude.
Pigeon Strike, that's right.
And then, exactly, and it's a sick move. I like it a lot. Like, I like the whole cross. Like, even Doomwing had his own version called the Doom Strike, so that was kind of cool.
I like that.
So the strike was so powerful, it just separates all the big baddies. It separates Xenowing from Doomwing. It separates the Dark Energem. That goes flying away. So the other Rangers are dealing with the other monsters, and they do a good job there. And then finally, Xenowing gets the Energem. He gets it back. He finally gets it back, and we get our first Xenowing Silver Ranger morph. And it was great.
How does he fit his beak into the helmet?
The same way Doggy Kruger fits his big head into his helmet.
It makes sense to me.
In SPD. And
This
it's
one
Rangers,
doesn't.
And it's me making this pose without me looking at the camera for a long time. And it was just so good. It was just so good. And you know what was really cool about it? Again, I had a hard time myself, even like, okay, this is Sentai, this is Rangers.
Right.
This is Sentai, this is Rangers. Oh, dude, when he was morphed, his voice, no, not Rangers, but it was just echoey and just gallant, and it was just really, really cool.
Rangers.
It was. And you know what's funny? After he wins and they have a great fight, we get our first Xenowing monster extinct. And he just sounded so cool doing it. He was a boss. A boss. He was
Bouse.
a beast. A bouse. Yeah, I can't do it like my man here, but it was such a great, it was a great first fight for a good Silver Ranger. Now, so let's take it to the big meat for today's episode. Because, okay, Sage finds the Dark Energem, so it is still with the baddies. But now, Silver Ranger is now part of the team. Let's go back to Sledge's ship. Let's go back to Sledge's
and
ship.
that's where we get Poisandra.
We get Poisandra. In the episode, a captured Heckle, now in jail, calls over Poisandra.
By the way, another well-developed villain, like one of the best well-developed villains I've seen in Poisandra and Heckle.
Oh, and Heckle. Yeah, absolutely.
Like this season has great developed villains.
And if you're a fan of Heckle, what happens next just takes it over the top. You know what I'm saying? So Heckle is released by Poisandra in exchange for a secret. We don't know what that secret is. We just know it's juicy enough for her to help. You know what I mean? And it's not like she hates the guy either.
Muy caliente. I get it.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So Heckle escapes, sees Arcanon, sees the Dark Energem, and we get a flashback to Sentai 6.
And
Sentai 6.
What we saw in this flashback, I didn't expect to see, honestly.
What's that?
Was that we see that he's actually a good guy that's trying to protect the Dark Energem from it falling into the wrong. He's essentially doing what the Rangers are doing on Earth.
Sure.
And he's trying to protect it.
That's such a great point. No, I mean, we see a completely different character. Who plays
Ryan Carter.
Shout out to Ryan Carter, because immediately you see the difference. Immediately.
Well, this is the what if Earth's protectors fell.
He's Sentai 6's protector, because now we know at this point that Arcanon did destroy Sentai 6. He destroyed Heckle's home planet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we see him running across the desert trying to protect the Dark Energem. And let me connect this back to the whole Xenowing and Doomwing, because that is basically how Snide was born. But it was enough to twist Heckle.
Okay, now let me say this though. I love that. I love this scene because it gives you so much insight into that character.
A lot of depth.
The one thing I will be disappointed with is if this Dark Energem does not transition into the Talon Ranger.
Dude, at this point, there's a lot of rumors, man. There's a lot of rumors. It would be such a wasted opportunity, because Talon Ranger, the design, mind you, just used for the Kyoryuger movie, such a great design, such a great just aesthetic look. It has a cool Zord to accompany it, dude. And not to mention just seeing Heckle. Just seeing Heckle, the good version. Oh, that's totally Ranger worthy as far as I'm concerned. I want to see him Ranger up. So we'll see, man. We'll see. So we get that backstory. But again, to connect it to Heckle and Snide, Xenowing went through the same thing as far as being bonded with the Dark Energem, was able to come out of it and still remain not twisted. Obviously, because we saw Doomwing really quick. We saw Doomwing and Xenowing take possession, like they fought for possession. But when Xenowing popped in, he was like, "No, don't trust him. Don't trust him." When Heckle pops in with Heckle and Snide, he's twisted.
Sure.
He's already brainwashed. He's gone through it way too long. So that's a testament to Xenowing's willpower.
Man, but imagine all the things that
he had to do.
Yes, well, Heckle had to do in order to become that much of a bad guy that was like everyone's afraid of him.
Sure. Like,
oh man, now that we're talking, it's just intense. It gets intense.
There's a lot of character depth.
Yeah.
So let's wrap the episode up. So Heckle escapes only to get the flashback and be reminded who he is.
I love this scene actually.
And so
you said, Ryan Carter crushed this moment.
So different, but he didn't completely lose his Heckleness.
No.
He was very aggressive. He's like, "I remember, you did this, you destroyed Sentai 6. So he was Sentai 6's hope. And so we get Arcanon is taking no prisoners. He is a big bad. So let's wrap up the episode. They go back to the training grounds. The Rangers are training. Xenowing joins the team officially.
It ends where it started, essentially.
Perfect. So that is our episode, man. All right, let's get to the ratings, dude. What would you rate this episode, 1 through 5?
A solid 4.
A solid 4.
It moved the plot along. I really enjoyed the episode. I think the more we talked about it, the more I actually enjoyed it more.
Sure.
It gave me more insight into what Chiplin was trying to do. I shouldn't just say Chiplin. There was also
the production, the whole
team,
the direction of everyone. Yeah.
I thought the character development was key here.
Yes.
And
the history.
Yes.
The backstory.
And the thing that we're getting now is we're wrapping up stories that have been lingering for a while.
Yes.
It's because we only have a few episodes left.
Not a lot.
Like I said,
not a lot.
It's going to make me miss this Dino Charge cast.
I already do, to be honest with you.
Look at that. I'm getting choked up right now. I can't handle it.
You know what, man? I'm going to give it a solid 4.5. There was so much original footage. There was so much backstory. There was a lot of character development. There was a lot of great character moments.
Yeah.
There was a lot of in-depth for Sentai 6, the planet.
I agree.
Being more than just a planet that housed the Dark Energem, but connecting it to to heckle. I feel like the planet itself served a great backstory.
And speaking of planets, that's where this is called a transition into our next segment, which is called
Our top Ranger planets.
Oh, before we get there, I do have
our Morphin list
Morphin list.
with our top Ranger planets.
I do have a question for you. Before we get there, right before we get there.
Sure.
You were a fan of Xenowing.
Yes.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Xenowing.
I feel like Xenowing, dude, here's the thing. Xenowing's a swordsman.
Okay.
A master swordsman. The first thought in my mind, because Doomwing is a formidable opponent, correct?
So if we're
Wait,
talking...
is Doomwing a formidable opponent?
Yeah.
So he was able to subdue all the Rangers and Xenowing. Like, Xenowing had to step up to destroy him, right?
Yes.
So you could even say he was a big bad. Okay, so the first question that came to my mind as a master swordsman, Xenowing versus Kruger. And there's a lot going on for Kruger, too. When he first morphed.
Kruger, first of all, his name's the Shadow Ranger.
Oh, my bad.
And second of all, he is one of the most bad A characters in Power Ranger history.
Yes, this is true. This is true.
He is a character that just walks into a room and owns it.
Oh, you stand at attention.
Anthropomorphic
Creatures.
I think personally, in my opinion, the best anthropomorphic character in Power Ranger history, Doggy Kruger, SPD Power Ranger.
And I'm going to argue that because I love Doggy. I love Shadow Ranger. When he first morphed, he took down 100 baddies at once. You know what I mean? There's a reason why 100 was on his suit. With that said, Silver Ranger Xenowing morphs, his voice echoing, shining, glistening in the sun, has the Prism Slash, now the Silver Prism Slash, has a dope weapon called the Titano Saber. Oh, man. I don't know, dude. If they were to face off, yeah.
Here we go. Right here, I'm repping Shadow, you're repping Silver.
I'm gonna rep some Xenowing.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's put a little stake on the line. Here we go. We're gonna have you fans write into who you think was a better Ranger.
Hashtag Silver Ranger, Xenowing,
Hashtag Shadow Ranger, Doggy.
Kruger.
And here's what we're gonna do. Whoever gets the most votes between the two of us, we have a signed autograph from Steve Cardenas. Whoever gets the most out of the two of us, we get to pick from the person that voted.
So we're gonna have a winner.
We're gonna have a winner, but if it's more Team Silver, you get to pick who you're gonna give that to.
That sounds great.
If it's more Team Shadow, I get to pick who I give it to.
So leave your comments below.
Leave your comments
so it's
below.
either gonna be Silver Ranger or it's gonna be Shadow Ranger.
Right.
Who do you have?
There you go. So now let's get to our game.
Our Morphin list, and today's episode, because Sentai 6 was such a centric backstory, today's Morphin list has to do with top Ranger planets. Planets!
All right, let's start this off with number 5.
Number 5. All right, let's go with
We're gonna go back and forth? Okay.
Oh.
No, that's cool. Let's do it. Go.
KO35.
KO35. Why is KO35 important? Well, it's where Andros is from. It's also
it's where Astronema is from. It's where Zane is from. They had a big party at the end of In Space.
Not with Ewoks.
Not with Ewoks. Definitely shout out to the Ewoks and the Dark Jawas from last week's episode.
But it was a slave planet.
It was.
And it was the driving force in one of the greatest Power Ranger seasons of all time.
The greatest.
Power Rangers in space.
It was pretty great.
Now we're going to go to number 4.
Number 4.
Bringing it in at number 4. I am gonna. Why are you laughing, dude?
No, please continue.
Bringing it in at number 4. I'm gonna go with Eltar.
Eltar. So Zordon's home planet.
That is where. Yes, that's where Zordon's from, and it's alluded to where my favorite Ranger. Where's my phone at? My favorite Ranger, the Phantom Ranger, is from.
Shout out to the Phantom Ranger. Joe is the Phantom Ranger.
I am the Phantom Ranger. I am from Eltar. It's a very important planet in Power Ranger history and Power Ranger lexicon. Get to know Eltar straight out of Eltar.
Sure.
Number 3.
Number 3. Who was our number 3? You gotta help me out there because we were debating on a couple of things. So I'm sure. Okay. So let's go with number 3. Number 3 is going to be, I mean, in my heart, is number 1, but mainly because of who it's related to, and that's going to be
Ryan Steele.
Kinda. Triforia. This is where the Golden Ranger is from. This is where we have 3 personalities in the form of one entity.
I can agree with you on this because I do like Triforia and it makes sense because it's number 3 and it's Tri. I get it.
Oh, we were a lot more clever than I thought we were. I see what you did there. Hey.
Number 3 makes sense there.
Number 3.
The only thing I didn't like about Triforia is essentially we didn't really get to see other species in Triforia besides Trey.
I mean, we really didn't get a lot. Well, to be fair, a lot of planets and rangers.
It's true.
We don't get to see a lot of. They're referenced. When we're able to actually go on the planet or get on the planet, it's really interesting, and it's actually a treat.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to go on to number 2 here. This is my number 2.
Number 2.
And I'm going to go with Aquitar. Why Aquitar, you ask? Sestro, Delphine, Titus, Corcus, and the other one.
Alien Rangers are strong, man, and that's where they're... Not to mention, too, as far as we know, it does still house Billy.
Yeah,
that
and
is
Billy's
where Billy. That is where Billy went.
And Sestra, Billy's wife.
There you go. Absolutely. So definitely worth mentioning because they gave us a really cool team.
Yeah. A great part of that about that team too is that they were the saviors of Earth when the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers
became Mighty
Morphin
Minor, Mighty Minor Power Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it holds a soft spot in my heart too because it's the first Power Ranger crossover team where we got 2 teams.
And they kind of took over. They had to.
No, not even that. But the Zeo team and their team.
Oh, I see.
The big team up. That was the first team up we got.
I will say this: it was enough to change the theme song.
Exactly.
Go, Alien Rangers.
And DJ, you held it down, and thank you last week for holding it down. You did a great job. Woo. So you were going to pick number 1.
Number 1, it literally carried this season as far as where it started and where it ended, and that's Miranoi from Lost Galaxy. Housing the Quasar Sabers, being encompassed in stone rock.
Yeah.
That's where Maya, our Yellow Galaxy Ranger, is from.
But that's where Leo saved 2 galaxies.
That's where Leo held it down for 2 galaxies and did it like a boss. Did I do it right?
Boss.
Nope, still not there.
Real boss.
So, a real boss. Oh, you're upgrading on me. But it is where the story started, and it is where the story ended. That's where Kendricks came back. That's where they had the party. They put the sabers back in the stone.
And that's also where Leo got it back. That's where Forever Red.
Yeah, that's where. Oh, that's a great point. It's the home of one of the greatest powers in the universe in Ranger history.
And it was also the new home of the planet that the new civilization they were trying to find.
Sure.
That was their inhabitants. Now that's where Terra Venture ended up.
Sure. And there's a lot of planets we haven't even mentioned on our list, but that one.
Like Sentai 6.
Sentai
wink,
6.
Wink, you know what I'm saying.
Oh, man. So there's just so much good. So yeah, man, that's our top planet. Leave a comment below. Tell us what other planets we haven't mentioned. Give us your list for top 5 Ranger planets, explored, not explored, reference. Let us know in the comments below.
And you know what you like next, and that's the questions and comments, and we're going to be coming with it right now.
All right, so Kea Young, her comment is, definitely Miss Joe in this one, by the way. She loves the beard. Oh, he loves the beard. I did like seeing all the Rangers in this episode. Yeah, I just petted Joe's beard. Okay, so Jeff Nosiri.
You're not the only one, don't worry.
Oh, you betrayer, you. That hurts my heart.
You can pet it some more if you want.
I will. So Jeff Nosiri, Amazing Ranger Catch-Up, Ranger Wrap-Up. DJ, I love the shirt. Thanks. I'm not wearing it today. So he missed Joe in this episode.
You're wearing a better shirt today. Show for the ladies, UJ.
Well, you know what I'm saying? No, we're not. So Jeff missed Joe in this episode because we do miss Joe. Joe is the man. I tell him that continuously, and he tells me, no, dude, shut up.
Listen, guys, they did a great job when I wasn't here. Honestly, you guys held it down.
Thank you.
You did your thing.
Thank you.
Enjoyed the episode. I thoroughly enjoyed the episode.
Thank you.
You guys, Steven, Krishna, DJ.
Thank you.
You're a lifesaver. Thank you.
Well.
I know that I can leave whenever I want. DJ's going to take over,
Hey,
and it's going to be great.
That's a lie. We're not going to let Joe ever leave ever again.
That's not true.
Well, maybe. I'm going to leave them. All right, so he doesn't have a top 5 costume list for today, but his favorite part of the episode is the original fight scenes. Yes, there was a lot of the original fight at the end of last week's Halloween episode was amazing.
I did like that. Yeah.
It was really, really good. He wished he could see them more use their weapons, like the Sentai DVD special where Gold and Purple do have a special weapon. That's a great call. Don't want to say name, spoiler, but in theory, if Ninja comes to Ninja Steel, do you think he could be related to Xenowing since they kind of have the same voice? I don't know about that.
Rangers!
Not anymore, because Xenowing is back, and now Xenowing talks like this. And now, Riley, it was his fault.
And I will apologize for the lighting situation. We are in Hawaii. It's outside. It's getting dark. It's still humid out here. We love it.
Let us know when you can't completely see us, and we'll just totally just do whatever we want with our hands. Okay, so Jasmine loves you. DJ, she says DJ handling this like a pro, loves it. Shout out to Jasmine loves you. Thank you so much.
Good.
Shout out to Jasmine.
Yeah,
She's a great girl.
Jasmine.
She's a great girl.
Commenting on my videos too. I'm just kidding.
Hearts to Jasmine. Really?
I'm just
Really? Craig Anderson. His comment is, He really wasn't feeling this episode because it was just a filler episode. You are not incorrect. And nothing really happened. Also correct. He, as much as he loves this season, he doesn't really care about what happens next. Ouch. Okay. Because I've been excited about Ninja Steel since they announced Chip will be returning. You know what? You're saving your comment a little bit. I am going to miss Dino Charge. I am looking forward to Ninja Steel as well. What's up, sir?
Ninja Steel. Let's talk about this real quick.
Sure.
Ninja Steel, when you heard the announcement, when you heard Dino Charge's announcement, how much did you anticipate it compared to like how you are for Ninja Steel?
Oh my goodness, dude. I feel like the last couple of years has been a great time to be a fan, period. When they announced Dino Charge, I was on cloud 9.
Me too.
Like, dude, I was juiced.
But the main reason
juiced.
for me personally, and nothing against any past producers, but the return of Chip Lin for me was like,
it was a factor, dude. But no, when I saw the cast,
you know what? That's a great. Me and
when
JD
I saw the cast,
JD, come here for a second.
I was lit.
Get in here.
Come here, boy.
This is JD. We always talk about him all the time.
Okay, JD is our producer. He is my big brother. He is our family. JD.
So every single time I ask JD about something like this, we say like, oh, did they look like a Power Ranger cast?
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
When you saw Ninja Steel, did they look like a Power Ranger cast to you?
Yeah. I mean, it looked like a Ranger cast because, I mean, I think it helps to see them in the suits, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
You know, definitely when they debut them in the suits,
Sure.
It helps.
Megaforce, you said?
Megaforce, not really. Like, a little bit, yeah.
Even though you saw them in the suits, Megaforce, it just didn't have the same type of effect, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, one cast that did not do it for me too was Jungle Fury. Like when I first saw Jungle Fury people,
I
couldn't tell if they were a Ranger cast yet or not. I was just like, I don't think they look like Rangers. And then it's like, okay, they kind of look like Rangers.
But for the record, we still love Jungle Fury. We love every single Power Ranger, some a little bit more than others. But I see what he's saying.
Overdrive?
We appreciate Overdrive just as much as Samurai.
Operation Overdrive, yeah.
Good point.
We appreciate. Thank you.
iMac.
Oh, shout out to Operation Overdrive for iMac.
All right. Thanks,
I
JD.
appreciate you, JD. My man. All right, so last of his comment is, DJ, you have great taste because Camille Hyde is super hot. I do agree with you there. She's 4 years older than me. However, you know what they say, age is nothing but a number, so we can make it work. Hey, guess what, Craig? We have issues now. So guess what? We're going to be fighting over Camille Hyde.
17 is also a number, and that gets you. 15 to 20 is also a number.
This is great legal advice from Joe and the Ranger Wrap-Up. Okay, so Hizidi Japan Boy. I was rather surprised to see Scumlaw in this episode because his Sentai counterpart, he was one of the harder villains and killed Yuja. This is very true. And he was hard to destroy, and he lasted about 3 episodes. Absolutely true. Great comment. Damn Quilty. Shout out to the Damn Quilty. It's pretty damn great. Thank you all for reading my comment from the last podcast. That's how he found us, because thanks to that place. And Google.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Weird. Shout out to...
I like how he also refers to us as a podcast, which is cool. Because that means he found us as a podcast.
That's
By
awesome.
the way, I guess we're on iTunes also.
Hey.
For you guys who know that.
Try not to fall asleep with my voice. I do apologize. So...
I fall asleep to it every night.
That's what I'm talking about. Double X Gen Time Force Double X. What is the guy who was wearing the Team Tyranno shirts YouTube? It is Hyperdrive Picks. So shout out to Steven and Hyperdrive Picks. And she loved last week's episode. She loved the video. You're awesome.
What'd I tell you?
I said that we missed Joe, and I still stand by that. So,
Anthony DiDios.
What was that voice? Okay.
Yeah, what was that voice? Anthony DiDios, quick question for you guys. How do you think Zord and Alpha are going to look in the new movie?
Amazing.
One word.
Bryan Cranston?
A bouse.
Bouse.
Two Fat Games, thanks for reading my comment last week. I couldn't really remember many costume episodes, but I definitely remember the MMPR Life's a Masquerade.
Yeah, classic. And to be honest with you, there's not a lot of Halloween episodes.
And Kendall looking fine
We mentioned that.
in this year's Halloween episode. And you were correct. Kendall looked bouse. Apollo Thunderflame. Apollo, I love his name. You love his name too.
Apollo Thunderflame.
Apollo,
yes,
huh?
Yes.
Oh, somebody called him Apollio?
Oh, it was totally Krishna.
It was a Krishna called
But
him
she did
Apollio?
respond in the comments below. She was just like, oh, sorry for calling you a disease.
Oh, this is already good. Wouldn't be
shout
the
out
first
Krishna.
time I've been compared to a horrible disease. But Krishna, I'm sure, wrote this from Ranger Live Chat.
She did.
Apollo Thunderflame, so sorry. We will give you a shout out. We will give you a shout out on the next live show, Ranger Live Chat. That's from Krishna. She apologized. This is my favorite because I got canned from you guys.
Oh.
These guys.
Is this Bueta?
Ryan Bueta
Yeah, shout out to Ryan.
Finally, you
Fletcher.
pronounced my last name right, DJ.
I got you, Ryan. I got you.
Thank you for the shout out, Krishna. We all love our fearless leader. Anyway, this episode
awesome.
was an okay recap filler. Wish they progressed the story more. We agree.
Yes.
Speaking of Halloween, Joe and DJ, what do you plan on dressing up for Halloween? DJ,
Why I gotta be first?
I'm gonna guess here because
What's the guess?
we've been talking about it a lot on DJ's Facebook. If you want to find DJ on Facebook, I'm not gonna do that to you. But Luke Cage.
You're not wrong. Yes, Luke Cage. It's
Yeah.
between Luke Cage and a minion.
Really?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
Thank you. And back to you.
Well, at hashtag, a few of us, and I thought you were part of this, a few of us are going to be dressing up as members of Suicide Squad. We got Jasmine's going to be Katana. Jessica's going to be Harley Quinn. Daniel says he's going to be Killer Croc, but he's in,
What would I be?
I don't know. I'm going to be Deadshot.
Oh, what the heck? You put me in there for no reason. I'm like, well, how am I gonna be a part of this? I'm gonna be Amanda Waller?
Yeah, I
no,
don't know.
not happening.
Medea.
No, definitely not happening.
Medea Amanda Waller? No.
Yeah, why not? I'm gonna be a man Waller.
A man Waller. Daniel Ramiro.
So full of it.
Love the trailer. March can't come soon enough. When it's in theaters, I'll definitely be dressed up when it comes out. Also, Trick or Treat was a great episode. So awesome to see all 9 Rangers morphed and fighting. Great action. Also, can't wait to watch Zed's Monster Mash and Lord Zed's Monster Heads this Halloween. I agree.
Yes.
Those are 2 great Halloween episodes. Holla at your homeboy, Bouse.
Thank you for your comments. We have Derek Hervey. More phenomenal episode, guys. Thank you, Derek. I'm psyched to see what the finale is going to be for Dino Charge coming up. Question for the future upcoming seasons of after Ninja Steel makes this run through. Do you think Saban would revisit Sentai seasons as passed on, such as Go Busters, Tokyuger? Or would you agree we may see Zyuohger, the current Sentai season, or 2017 season, Q-Danger, which is the rumored space-themed ranger for Sentai next season? P.S. In your separate opinions, which would possibly, I was supposed to say, work better after Ninja Steel? God bless that hashtag.
Okay, let me go first.
Please.
Me and JD walk around Pasadena at 3 a.m. talking about fan fiction Power Ranger seasons.
Still upset of Joe not inviting me because I was knocked out.
Go Buster. Go Buster can and should be adapted.
Oh, I
it's
agree.
completely different.
I agree.
JD has all been out of shape though because they took Venjix and they took Corinth City and it made it its own dimension.
Oh, yeah.
He's
He has
pretty
some
upset
great
about that.
he
He
has some
did have
great
a good
ideas.
idea,
He has some great
but I
ideas.
will agree. I think Go Buster is the season that really could be completely different, especially after this movie.
You know what, man? I completely agree with you as far as Go Busters. I actually enjoy Tokyuger. I actually enjoyed Tokyuger. It was a different. Now, would it be the same as Sentai? Absolutely not, and I wouldn't want it to be. But I am a fan of the fact that was our first Orange Ranger.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't count
SPD,
Boom with his dream sequence and
I
his
agree
little.
with you.
Well, there you go. So, there you go, man. Oh, sorry. Shadowberg084. Kendall and Ivan at the beginning of the episode. Did anybody catch that? Does anyone else ship Kendall and Ivan? I absolutely don't because I want Miss Morgan for myself. Thanks, man. So, when Kendall said that she was contacting 2 friends, Shadowboy was hoping that Shadowboy was hoping that it was Billy and Kendricks. Billy seeing Riley in the detective outfit would have been like, "Hey, nice costume, dude." That would have been a nice nod to Billy's original costume from the Halloween episode where he was also dressed as Sherlock Holmes. So I feel what you're saying. I don't think they would have got Kendall and Billy for this episode because it's a filler episode, not necessarily. But it would have been nice. It would have been dope if they somehow made it work. Edward Sanchez Productions, hashtag Edward Sanchez approve. OMG, the Power Rangers teaser trailer was so freaking awesome. My favorite parts was the Rangers discovering the power coins, Jason and Kimberly kissing, hashtag Jason and Kimberly forever. My favorite costume Rangers are from Power Rangers Dino Charge, Ghostess with the Mostest, where the Rangers dress up as ghosts, and Kendall dressed up as Cupid. Yes, we are all a fan of Kendall dressed up as Cupid. Power Rangers fan says, I honestly don't have a morphin list for costume Rangers. Best one to me, though, is the Wild West Rangers. Also, concerning the Talent Ranger, Ranger Wiki kind of spoiled who it's going to be. Does it? Anyways, all I can tell you is it's someone who's working with Arcanon. Oh, okay, interesting. And P.S., I was like, darn it, Coda, when the whole Tyler and Shelby kiss almost happened. I just changed my channel name to make it easy to remember. Oh, okay. Andrew Suarez, he says, really excited for the new movie. I like the changes, and at least 2 of my friends are hating on how it's not like the original. Now on to my top 5. Really, so Andrew Suarez, let me take the time to talk to you real quick, man. I love the fact that you're still defending the Lionsgate movie because honestly, dude, that's what Rangers do, man. They're open to new seasons. It may not be what you want it to be, and it's not going to be exactly what we want it to be. We're not making it, but you're still going to be a fan. You're still going to check it out. Keep rocking on, dude. Now, onto your list. MNPR in the first Halloween episode. Great choice. Wild West Rangers. Absolutely. Number 3, Clown Zane in the space episode where Cassie couldn't talk or else the Cycles will find her.
That was a
great
good
episode. Yeah, sure. Number 2, Lightspeed Disguises. And number 1, the Zeo Halloween episode. All you.
Oh, hey. Blackwing 2040. I'm not a fan of clip shows episodes, but the fight was amazing to watch, especially seeing All Night Rangers morph. Here's my list of costumed Rangers. Number 5, Lightspeed Rescue costume episode. Very descriptive.
A lot of people remember that. Like, I really didn't at the time.
Number 4, Dino Thunder episode where the personalities were changed. I actually like that episode a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Emma was cute.
Kira
was cute.
Kira, yeah. 3, Megaforce Halloween episode. That was decent. Number 2, Time Force Movie Madness. I really enjoyed that one, actually.
That was a classic, sure.
And this is my all-time favorite, too, and I agree with you.
What is it, Joe?
Number 1, Zeo Halloween episode. Boom.
Oh, my goodness.
Abigail Parker. By the way, we thank you for our artwork. It's amazing.
I love Abigail to death.
You're great.
Yeah.
I liked the Halloween episode. It was better than last year's. Definitely better than the Samurai and Megaforce one. I think last year's was better, me personally, but I respect your opinion. They had great costumes. Seeing the ninjas fight together, the 9 fight together, I'm sorry, was awesome. But I think it would have been cool if they would have added Xenowing. I agree with this. I mean, the Halloween is the best time to walk around with the Rangers incognito.
Oh, that's
True
a great
story.
point. That's a great
Everyone
point.
would, that's actually a really good point, actually.
Really good point, yeah.
Everyone would think, hey, it's a great costume. Here's my top 5 costume list from the Power Rangers I've seen so far. Number 5, RPM, Finn, and different jobs like fireman, especially in the Braveheart outfit. Agreed. Number 4, Dino Charge, Prince and Princess. This is actually a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Great scene with Chase and Tyler. They had fake beards when they took the fake beards off.
Sure.
Dino Thunder, when they changed their characters. Kira was the best. That's right. Kira was the best. Number 2, MMPR, The Masquerade. Agreed. And number 1, Dino Supercharged, Trick or Trial. Wow. This episode made it. All right, very cool.
Made it, sure.
I really like the costumes. Fit for the colors really well.
That's true. No, actually, I do like the costumes they picked for the Rangers.
I like the movie trailer. It can really keep up with the other trailers these days, and it will definitely bring in new people to Power Rangers fandom.
Agreed.
I have an older coworker, and we both like movies a lot, so we go to the cinema. They call it the cinema there in Germany, where she's at.
Awesome. Abigail, you're awesome. You're just
I would also believe that I also would never believe that Mondays. She called me saying that there's an awesome new trailer. Maybe we can watch the movie next year. I think it's called Power Rangers, and she freaked out.
Oh.
Great Ranger wrap-up. Great show from all of you. Loved it as always. P.S. Maybe you can you maybe do a top 5 Power Ranger theme song list someday?
Please say that again. Please.
Maybe.
Please say theme
Abigail,
song again.
I'm not going to butcher your words. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to read it properly.
You're not getting away with that. That's
P.S. Can you maybe do a top 5 Power Ranger theme song list someday?
Take 2.
And we will. And DJ's going to sing every single one of them.
I would love to. Yes.
That's going to do it for our questions and comments. Please leave a message in the comments below, commenting on Team Shadow or Team
Silver Ranger.
That's right. And also leave your comments on what your favorite
5 planetary choices are.
There you go. This has been the Ranger Wrap-Up. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the inconsistent lighting
situation in
Hawaii.
But
this is what happens in Hawaii.
Duh.
Come on, guys. We hope you can join us next week on an all-new episode of the Ranger Wrap-Up, talking about Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
There you go.